I'm the most dominant and most well-rounded welterweight on the planet. Nobody can stop me.
Winning any fight in the UFC is already an accomplishment in itself, but winning multiple fights in a row is something that many fighters struggle with. So for this video, we'll be going over a list of fighters that have put together some of the biggest winning streaks inside the UFC. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Now, without further ado, here's a list of some of the longest winning streaks in UFC history.
So it begins.
Number 1. Robert Whittaker. As the current reigning middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker has been through some tough competition to get to the top of his division. After suffering a knockout loss to Stephen Thompson in 2014, he went on to win his next 9 fights, taking out some top competitors one by one before going on to become the UFC middleweight champion. With wins over names like Derek Brunson, Jacare Souza and Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker has solidified himself as an elite fighter in one of the UFC's toughest divisions. And at just 28 years old, it's very possible that we haven't even seen the best of this man yet. Number 2. Kamaru Usman.
I fought this fight sitting at about 30%. Everybody knows what I'm capable of. That was 30% right there.
Welterweight champion Kamaru Usman has quickly become one of the most formidable forces in the 170-pound division. After defeating Haider Hassan in his UFC debut to win Season 21 of The Ultimate Fighter, Usman continued to win 10 consecutive fights, earning wins over some of the best fighters in his weight class. Scoring impressive victories over Rafael dos Anjos, Damian Maia, and now, most recently, Tyron Woodley. It will be interesting to see if Kamaru Usman can continue to grow his winning streak and defend his welterweight title. Number 3. Hoist Gracie. Considered one of the true pioneers of MMA, Hoist Gracie holds one of the longest as well as one of the most significant winning streaks in UFC history. As someone who was involved in the first ever UFC event, he was the first fighter to show just how effective Jiu-Jitsu was in MMA. In just a little over a year, Hoist Gracie managed to secure 11 straight wins, winning multiple UFC tournaments before fighting to a draw against Ken Shamrock at UFC 5. Even more remarkable was the fact that he was often paired against opponents who were much larger than him, making his wins that bit more astonishing. Number 4. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your boy.
Current lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov is undoubtedly one of the greatest talents the MMA world has ever seen. Currently on an 11-fight win streak in the UFC, Khabib also holds an undefeated record of 27-0. Throughout his career, Khabib has run through everyone the UFC has put in front of him. Not only has he beaten every fighter he's faced, he's also won nearly every round, holding wins over Edson Barboza, Al Iaquinta and Conor McGregor. Only time will tell if he can continue to extend his undefeated run. Number 5. Tony Ferguson.
Dana, what time is it? What time is it, Dana? Please tell these guys.
It's Tony time, bitches.
Former interim lightweight champion Tony Ferguson is currently tied with Khabib for the longest winning streak in the lightweight division. With 11 straight wins behind him, the former Ultimate Fight winner has beaten some of the best lightweights the UFC has to offer, with wins over fighters like Rafael dos Anjos, Kevin Lee and Anthony Pettis. The only question that remains is when he'll be receiving a title shot. Despite winning the interim title against Kevin Lee back in 2017, Tony has yet to receive a chance to fight for the undisputed lightweight belt. Though, should he get past Donald Cerrone, it'll be hard to deny him that chance any longer. Number 6. Max Holloway.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Despite having his winning streak snapped by Dustin Poirier at UFC 237, featherweight champion Max Holloway strung together one of the most impressive winning streaks in UFC history. From 2014 to 2018, Max Holloway racked up 13 straight wins, earning victories over Anthony Pettis, Jose Aldo and Brian Ortega. The rate of which he finished his opponents was also very impressive, boasting a 77% finishing rate, and to this day he holds the record for the longest winning streak in UFC featherweight history. Number 7. Demetrius Johnson. Former flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson is tied with George St Pierre for holding the third longest winning streak in the UFC. Following his defeat to Dominic Cruz in 2011, Demetrius Johnson made the decision to drop down to the flyweight division. The change in weight class proved to be a smart move for Johnson, who went on to win 13 fights in a row, and claiming the flyweight title along the way. Even more impressive still was the fact that he defended the title a record-breaking 11 times before eventually losing it to Henry Cejudo in 2018. As of now, he holds the record for the longest title defense streak in UFC history. Number 8. George St Pierre. Two-time welterweight champion George St Pierre is arguably the greatest martial artist to fight in the UFC. After losing his title to Matt Serra in a historic upset, George St Pierre went on a dominant winning streak. He regained his title and defeated 13 fighters in a row, avenging his only 2 losses along the way. To this day, he holds the record for the most title defenses in welterweight history. He also won the middleweight title in 2017, becoming just one of 6 fighters to become a 2-division champion. Although he announced his retirement in February, MMA fighters don't usually stay retired for long, so it's possible we may see him return in the future. Number 9. Jon Jones. Jon Jones' winning streak is one of the most confusing and frustrating examples on this list. Technically, Jon Jones should either be on a 16 or 18 fight winning streak, depending on how you look at it. Unfortunately, due to a disqualification loss to Matt Hamill, as well as having his win at UFC 214 overturned to a no contest, Jon Jones' winning streak now sits at 15. As a 4-time light heavyweight champion, Jon Jones has beaten everyone that has been put in front of him, including multiple former world champions. The only person who has ever been able to beat him is, well, himself, with the only blemish on his record being that disqualification to Matt Hamill, meaning Jon Jones' record is for the most part flawless. Number 10. Anderson Silva. Former middleweight champion Anderson Silva currently holds the record for the longest winning streak in UFC history, and also holds the record for the second most title defenses, right behind Demetrius Johnson. Finishing Chris Lee Ben in his UFC debut, Anderson Silva went on to knock out Rich Franklin for the middleweight title. From there, Silva was unstoppable, defeating 16 straight opponents in the span of just 6 years.
It's normal. Come on, guys.
Unfortunately, his winning streak came to an end at UFC 162 when he was knocked out by Chris Weidman. Since then, he has rather shockingly lost 6 of his last 7 fights. Well, that concludes our list for today. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please be sure to let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Apart from that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
Never have a doubt, do you like me now? Am I good enough now? Should I get more loud? Till you hear the fucking sound? Oh no, I'm losing my shit again, having to fit again. Man, I'm forgetting when I used to have some friends. I used to play pretend, we all grow up and then hating my phone and trends. I'm about to blow my head, nobody knows I'm dead. There I'm a ghost instead, think that I'm close. I get straight comatose in bed, try to go slow with breath, breathe out my nose and head. Heart doesn't go the trend, faster it goes.